Winter does not arrive here. It already exists, it waits, it breathes, it never leaves. The land stretches beneath a sky so pale it feels drained of time itself, a place where the sun rises low and hesitant, skimming the horizon like it fears the ground. This is the Oymyakon region of northeastern Siberia, where cold is not a season but a permanent force, shaping every grain of soil, every bone of every living thing. Air crystallizes with each breath. Sound travels differently here, sharp and brittle, as if even noise can shatter. The cold presses inward, not violently but patiently, slipping through layers, through skin, into thought. This is a land that teaches silence, not the peaceful silence of rest, but the absolute quiet of endurance. The earth beneath this frozen expanse is ancient beyond memory. Beneath the snow lies permafrost, ground locked solid for hundreds of thousands of years, a geological archive where time is preserved in ice. Organic matter never fully decays. Mammoths still sleep below, their flesh once perfectly preserved, as if death itself froze mid-sentence. Here, the past is not buried, it is immobilized. Winter dominates nearly the entire year. Temperatures plunge lower than human intuition allows, dropping past -50, -60, until numbers lose meaning. Metal becomes fragile, diesel thickens, breath freezes before it escapes the mouth. Eyelashes turn white within seconds as moisture crystallizes instantly. The atmosphere itself becomes hostile, a physical weight pressing down on every movement. Cold air sinks into the valleys, pooling like invisible liquid. Oymyakon sits in a basin where freezing temperatures accumulate night after night, year after year. It is a paradox of geography-low ground that becomes colder than higher peaks, where gravity itself pulls winter deeper into the land. The cold does not rush, it settles. The sky often glows with a faint, pearlescent haze. Ice fog rises from rivers that never truly sleep, drifting low across the ground like a living thing. It softens edges, blurs distance, and makes the world feel unfinished, half-formed. In this fog, direction becomes meaningless. Horizon dissolves. The land feels infinite and claustrophobic at the same time. Forests stand frozen in mid-gesture. Larches, the only deciduous conifers capable of surviving here, shed their needles each autumn to reduce exposure, a rare act of surrender among evergreens. Their bare branches catch frost, transforming entire valleys into fields of white coral. Every tree becomes a sculpture carved by temperature alone. Beneath the snow, the soil never relaxes. Permafrost prevents water from draining, forcing rivers to snake across the surface in wide, braided patterns during brief summers. When winter returns, and it always does, the rivers freeze from the top down, trapping flowing water beneath thick ice. The land appears dead, yet movement continues unseen, restrained but persistent. Life here does not conquer the cold, it negotiates with it. Animals that remain are specialists in survival. The Arctic fox pads silently across snow crust, its fur changing with the seasons, white dissolving into the landscape until it becomes nearly invisible. Musk oxen, hulking and prehistoric, endure winds that would strip flesh elsewhere, their dense underwool trapping heat so efficiently that snow can settle on their backs without melting. Even the smallest creatures obey winter's rules. Insects vanish entirely, surviving as eggs beneath bark and soil, suspended in biochemical stasis. Fish remain alive beneath meters of ice, moving slowly, conserving energy in dark water that never fully freezes due to pressure and flow. Life here learns patience as its primary skill. The cold alters physics itself. Batteries drain faster, plastic shatters, human breath becomes visible architecture, clouds that linger, slow to disperse in the dense air. Every action demands calculation. Nothing can be rushed. The environment punishes haste without mercy. During the darkest weeks, daylight becomes a brief suggestion rather than a presence. The sun arcs shallow and pale, casting long blue shadows across snowfields. Colors mute, whites deepen into cobalt. Even red fades as blood quickly darkens and freezes when exposed. Vision adapts to contrast, to movement rather than detail. And yet, despite the hostility, this land holds beauty so severe it borders on the unreal. Ice crystals form halos around the sun, optical phenomena known as sundogs, scattering light into spectral fragments. At night, auroras ignite the sky, green, violet, electric curtains of charged particles colliding with the upper atmosphere, painting motion across stillness. If you're still watching and somehow not frozen solid yet, take a second to like, subscribe and share this. Send it to someone who complains when it drops below room temperature. They clearly need to see this. The aurora does not warm the land, it only reminds it of the universe beyond. This region sits atop ancient tectonic foundations, remnants of collisions that shaped Eurasia long before ice claimed dominion. Mountains eroded down to rounded silhouettes, their jagged edges softened by millennia of freeze and thaw. Valleys carved not by flowing water but by ice expanding, contracting, grinding stone into powder. Cold here is not absence, it is presence. It occupies space, it commands respect. For humans who enter this realm, survival becomes ritual. Clothing layers mimic animal fur, trapping air close to the body. Movement slows to conserve heat. Tools are chosen not for convenience but for tolerance. Wood instead of metal, simple mechanics instead of electronics. Every object becomes a negotiation between utility and endurance. The land remembers every mistake. Frostbite arrives quietly, numbing pain before damage is noticed. Exposure does not announce itself dramatically, it whispers, encouraging rest, sleep, surrender. This is a place where vigilance is life, and yet humans have persisted here for centuries, adapting rhythms to match the climate. They read the wind, they listen to snow, they understand that survival is not dominance but alignment. To live here is to move when the land allows and stop when it forbids. Animals follow the same rules. Wolves travel long distances across frozen rivers, using ice as highways through the forest. Their breath plumes in unison, bodies lean and efficient, wasting nothing. They are neither cruel nor kind, only precise. In winter, precision is everything. Moose move through deep snow with long legs designed to break crust, feeding on frozen willow and birch. Their bodies generate immense heat, steam rising from their backs in the cold air like ghosts of effort. Every calorie matters, every step is deliberate. The paradox of Oymyakon is that life exists not despite the cold, but because of it. The cold limits competition, strips ecosystems to essentials, filters out inefficiency. What remains is refined, resilient, exact. Sound carries far across frozen ground. A distant crack ice expanding can echo like thunder. Trees split open with sharp reports as sap freezes and expands, wood unable to flex fast enough. The land speaks in fractures and echoes. In spring, if it can be called, that the change is abrupt. Snow softens, ice fog lifts. Rivers surge beneath breaking surfaces, shattering ice sheets with explosive force. Floods reshape valleys in days. What winter builds for months, spring dismantles in hours. Summer is brief, almost mythic. The ground thaws only at the surface, creating wetlands that explode with life. Birds arrive in impossible numbers, filling the air with sound, nesting, feeding, racing against the inevitable return of frost. The sun lingers long into the night, circling without fully setting, as if trying to make up for its absence. Then winter reclaims everything. Snow returns not gently, but decisively. Temperatures plummet, rivers seal, silence returns. The land resets to its default state. Time behaves differently here. Days blur. Seasons dominate memory more than years. The environment becomes the primary narrative and all stories submit to it. Standing in this cold, human concerns feel fragile, temporary. Technology shrinks, noise disappears. The world simplifies into essentials: warmth, movement, awareness. The mind sharpens, stripped of distraction, focused entirely on the present moment. This is not a place that welcomes visitors. It does not perform, it does not adapt. It exists as it always has, indifferent to observation. Cameras struggle, batteries fail, lenses fog, even documentation becomes an act of endurance. And yet the land allows itself to be seen in fragments: sunlight on frost feathers, aurora rippling across stars, animal tracks etched perfectly into snow, preserved until the next storm erases them. Oymyakon is not simply cold. It is a memory of Earth's extremes, a reminder of what the planet becomes when stripped of comfort. It shows a version of the world untouched by convenience, governed entirely by physics, geography, and time. Here, winter never lets go because it never needs to. It owns the land completely. If this frozen edge of the planet held your attention, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who says winter is their favorite season. More wild places, more extreme Earth, no gloves included. And in that ownership, it reveals something rare, an Earth that does not revolve around us, a place where survival is earned, moment by moment, and beauty exists not to be admired but to be endured,